Well, hey everybody, I hope you guys are having a great week. I just want to take a second and walk through our 1st through 3rd grade group guide for the weekend to give you guys a better understanding and grasp of what you're going to be doing in your small groups. Again, these videos are intended to be helpful and hopefully help you as you're preparing for the weekend. We want you to prepare. It's super important that we're prepared to lead the kids in our group, because the honest truth is they can tell when you're not prepared. I know I've led a group before and I haven't been prepared, and I've showed up and I'm trying to read through the outline as I'm in the small group, and it is so helpful if we just take a second and spend some time reading through what we're going to be doing in the weekend. So right now, you can watch the video too. Hopefully these are helpful as well. So let's dive right into it. This week our story is about Moses leading the Israelites through the desert. It's called Watch for Livestock. It's the story of the golden calf and how the Israelites got impatient, and instead of trusting God and what they knew to be true, they decided to take things into their own hands. And so this weekend our bottom line is, when you think you can't wait, think about what's true. And so this week, our first activity is all about the memory verse. You're going to have a stack of index cards with one word on each of them from the memory verse. And you're going to shuffle them up, give them to your kids, and say, all right, I want you guys to put them in the right order. And so let them work together and help them if you need to, of putting the memory verse in the right order. Again, our memory verse is Psalm 27:14. Wait for the Lord. Be strong and don't lose hope. Wait for the Lord. And so after they organize that, you're going to have them explain to them that you're going to have 3 lights. You're going to have green light, yellow light, and red light. And the color that you say is going to correspond with how fast you want them to say the memory verse. And so green light means really, really fast. Yellow light means normal pace, and then red means slow. You kind of show them how that works and the speed that you want them to. I would also encourage you to lead them as you say it, so that there's not like 8 kids saying 8 different things at 8 different times. I don't know why I chose the number 8 there. And then after you get through that, if you want, you can kind of put some action with it too. We kind of put some instructions as far as like the color could correspond with running in place. So if you say green, you got to say the memory verse really fast, but also run in place really fast. If we say yellow, you march in place slower than you would run, and you have to say it at a normal speed. And then red would be stand still and say the verse really slowly. Leader, you should set the pace for that. And then at the end, you're going to transition the verse into kind of our next activity, which is all about kind of what reminds us of God in reviewing the story. And so the first thing you're going to do for the second activity, called Reminds Me of You, you're going to give every kid a piece of paper and some coloring pencils, some markers, whatever you have at your campus, and you're going to encourage them to draw something that reminds them of God. So that could really be anything. Encourage them to be creative here. It doesn't have to be a cross. It doesn't have to be a Bible or a church. It could be something like a heart because God's love for you. Or it could be something like your family because you're reminded that God loves you through your family. Whatever that looks like, tell them to draw a picture of something that reminds them of God. And as they color, as they draw, there's some questions on here to help them review the story. Really, through this activity, you want every kid in your group to really know what happened throughout the story. And then at the end, you're going to have an opportunity to tie in something in your own personal life. Think through that right now. What is an opportunity or a time in your life when you had to wait for God, but you took things into your own hands? Instead of having patience and waiting for God, you decided that you were going to figure it out on your own. And so really what we want them to do, understand this weekend as they're in their small groups, is that having patience is about waiting for God. And sometimes it's really hard to do, just like we saw in our story. And then the last activity is prayer. You're going to have them have their drawings that they created in the second activity, and you're going to have every kid have an opportunity to explain why they drew what they drew. And as they're doing that, ask them questions about why it reminds them of God. Encourage them to just talk and kind of present. It's a good life skill to learn. And so they're going to be doing that while they're in their groups. And then at the end, you're going to give every kid in your group an opportunity to pray for something that they know to be true about God. As they leave, ask every kid to remember the bottom line. We want them to learn that when they go today. And then as their parents pick them up from their groups, we would encourage you to connect with parents and have an opportunity to get to know them as well, because we want to partner with those parents. Sweet. I know it's a little longer. I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions or you need anything, feel free to ask your director.